All right, so we kind of saved the big one for last, right? There's obviously one thing we haven't discussed as of yet, and we've been saving that for the end. And I'm sure you can all guess where I'm going with this. But Qadry, we got to talk to you because I'm reading a tweet here, and I see a tweet that says Qadry Ismail said the Baltimore Ravens offered Lamar Jackson a hefty contract, generational wealth, but LJ's team turned it down. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So can you speak to the validity of the tweet and what you know about the contract situation?
Yeah, no, I will say on the Syracuse Ravens review show, we were sitting there before the show started, and I was talking to a couple of our other media colleagues at M&T, and we were just chatting. I am not a journalist, and I don't do the whole breaking news thing, but when said journalist was breaking it down to me and said what they said as far as the amount and that is some mega generational wealth type money, I was like, wait a minute, you're kidding me. This is a good contract, at least from if you're Lamar's camp, at least you say, okay, hey, we're starting off in a good place. You're not trying to, lowball us or anything. This is all right. Hey,
so
we can structure this thing. Well, they did it, and I was like, wait a minute, what? And so I went on Syracuse Ravens review, and I was like, listen, this is what I've been told, and they had it out there, and they're like, nah, we're good. And so I don't know why. Maybe they want a Patrick Mahomes type of, number. I don't think that's realistic. But
what? Now you don't have to reveal it. But were the years provided to you? Like one of the things I thought was maybe
no, they didn't. That's exactly right. I know where you're going. So they didn't provide the detail. They said the average.
Okay.
Bruh.
The yearly average. They said the yearly average.
Are we talking top 3?
Yearly average.
Okay.
I'm not trying to go there.
Start with
as far
4?
as like, I know y'all trying to pull it out of me.
Start with a 4.
It's just us 4. No one else is watching Q. That's the thing. It's just us 4. No one's gonna watch this. No one cares about our show. Like,
I'm telling you, I was like, wait a minute, he what? He just didn't like it. What are we talking about here? Like, what? Bruh, like, oh my God. Like his kids type thing. So yeah, and like, yeah, that was woo, it was a good conversation.
So let me ask
you, just to be clear, you trust said journalists to be plugged in.
Right.
Oh no. This is 1,000% plugged in.
Let me ask you this though, because this is something that Glenn and
like,
I have been talking about.
Plug.
Because
plug.
How do you
right
become? How do you get that plugged into a camp that is so small, right? Like it's Lamar, and like people always talk about how his mom is his agent. Jeff Zrebeck even said like she's like his consultant manager, but like I don't even think based on the regulations of the NFL she can actually be his agent, right? Like she can work with him in making the deal and having conversations, but she's part of his camp. Outside of that, I don't know if he's got some lawyers that he confides in or whatever the case may be, but it's super small. So like
from what I understand, it is super small. From what I understand, he, took the consultation of don't do anything. We're going to chill. And they're in a holding pattern. So wow. I'm like, wow, I mean, whoo, yeah. Mama Bear, stuff that we don't know. Okay. Yeah. All right. Lamar.
Right
now,
there.
what do you think, though, Sarah and Q? I want you guys to answer this question because this, to me, can change a lot of things. It could mean, like, I want Lamar to get a bag, right? He deserves it, and I'm not because when we talk about this, people drill us all the time. They're like,
everything with we want him to get paid.
Yeah,
but we understand he's earned it.
There's also a new influx of Ravens fans that are Lamar Jackson fans, not necessarily Ravens fans, right? Like they wear purple and black because they love Lamar Jackson. So they want everything for Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens do nothing but hold him back. Like that's a lot of people's view on Lamar and the Ravens and whatever the case may be. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because we want him to get paid. However, we want the Ravens to be competitive. So we think that there's a hunch, at least between just Glenn and I, for what it's worth, probably not very much, that this deal could be relatively creative in the way that it's set up between Eric and Lamar if there's trust there, to where they maintain some flexibility to continue to compete in the future while he still gets paid. But if you're telling me he's turning deals down, right? Like, how does that change your view or one's view of a Lamar Jackson towards his, they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me, like all I care about is winning type mentality, to like, no, I want to be the highest paid and I want to win. You know what I mean? Like, there's a balance there to strike, and I feel like it could change how people view that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you on that, but there's the play and then there's the pay. And you have leverage, you use your leverage, because I promise you, once the team has the leverage,
right,
they're going to be using that leverage against you. So never will I ever, think, oh, okay, this guy, he's, screwing the team over and, whatever it might be. No, get what you can get when the getting's good.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter. I think, Eric DaCosta, from what I was told, he is doing it in all fairness and trying to, make it happen as far as the contract and the deal is concerned. So that's a good thing. Obviously Lamar and his camp is they want it structured the way they want it structured. Obviously the Ravens want it structured the way they want it structured. Somewhere in the middle is gonna be the sweet spot. We're gonna all sit back on the outside and speculate this thing to death, but ultimately it's gonna come down to both camps somewhere meeting up in the middle. That's how it's always been, and it doesn't really. I'm not gonna think lesser of Lamar, nor am I gonna think lesser of the Ravens, because at the end of the day, they still have to be creative and putting together a team, and they will be creative.
Well, hearing all this that you heard from Q, the fact that that Lamar's camp turned down generational wealth, and they're looking for a figure, and yet the Ravens are still, hopefully trying to stay flexible. What are your what do you give the chances of this deal getting done? Or are we really realistically having to come to grips with there might be a chance Lamar plays elsewhere after this deal,
or on a franchise tag too, right? Something like that.
Right. Twice. Listen, I think that last year at this time, I think I did tweet, it's not a matter of if, but when, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, last year at this time, it was a formality. I think now a year later, I can't be as confident that it's a formality, but I still think it's going to get done. I still think it's going to get done. That would be my prediction. For a few reasons. One, I think the Ravens want to get it done. And there's some talk out there. Is there some reservations after Miami and then cover zero and all that? And what kills me for both the Ravens and Lamar is that he didn't get time to show that he could adjust and overcome that, because any challenge that has come his way, he's been able to overcome. And anytime someone puts an obstacle or a narrative around him, he's been able to overcome it. So I would feel a lot better if he had been able to play. One, we probably would have made the playoffs. And two, I think he could have overcome the latest challenge. But I was doing a lot of research today because I have thought about Q. Q can't or won't give us the exact number, but my feeling is it's top two. My feeling is that it's top two. He's nodding his head. Okay.
Oh. So I can neither confirm nor deny.
I think it's top two. Especially if it's yearly, he very well could be top one. So
it's a poker face to turn that down.
But who knows? I'm just speculating at this point. Don't take it for what it's worth. Here's where I'm at. You guys have talked about there's lots of different people's coming from different perspectives, right? There could be Louisville fans that are here for Lamar. And I get that. And listen, it's not just Lamar. I want all players to get the bag. I want them all to get generational wealth. I mean, man, I love watching people's dreams come true and being able to take care of their families. And believe it or not, again, it is a business, but the Ravens enjoy that too when they can do it, right? It is a business. When they're able to make a business decision to where it does it for somebody, they get joy out of that too. They can't do it for everybody. So, but if I'm a Louis fan or been a Ravens fan, you do want the prestige to say, you know, he got the highest paid contract at that time, and then he's going to get passed up or whatever. You want that prestige, and that's good and all. That's not where my mind is at. To me, and I know that Lamar knows this, but and this is also, he wants to get his money. But what people are going to remember about Lamar is winning and Super Bowls and all of that. So I was just looking at the research today, and we all know that the CBA as it currently exists started in 2011. So I was very curious, what's the max a quarterback could be paid percentage-wise of a cap? Because as we know, the money keeps going up, and that's because the cap keeps going up every year. That was not true because of COVID, and it took a step back last year, but it's going back. It'll start going back up. It'll get a pretty hefty jump in 2021, but it won't be back to what we originally predicted it before COVID. So that's why I look at it in terms of percentages, okay? Because the cap keeps going up. So we now have 10 years. With one more game, we'll have 11 years of the percentage that quarterbacks made in the Super Bowl. The max percentage to win a Super Bowl, the max since 2011, has been 12.4% of the cap. That was Tom Brady.
Freaking Tom Brady, man.
Freaking Tom Brady.
That guy.
Okay, now the max of having a Super Bowl appearance was 15.3%, which was Matt Ryan in 2017. So then I wanted to go a little bit further at all the conference championships. What's the max a quarterback is made to be in a conference championship? And again, it's about 15%. Okay, so that tells me, to put that in perspective, okay, Lamar is currently scheduled to play on his fifth-year option at $23 million, right? Mm-hmm. I hear people on Twitter all the time, how can we get that number down? Let's get him an extension. Let's get that number down. That $23 million would be 11% of the Ravens cap. Now, to hit that 15%, which is the max for appearing in the Super Bowl, he'd be paid around $30 million. Now, that's of this year, right? So if you're having 40 million plus, right?
Because I know the number, I'm like, girl.
I know. We know. I'm fairly confident it's more than 40 million he was offered based off of Q. Okay. My guess is it's around 43. That's my guess, Q.
That's funny. I thought 42. I was doing some math, so
I'll take between.
Whatever. Now that's an average. Now, of course,
I just want 2 million of it.
Yeah, just give me a percentage.
You know how it's changed since you were a player, right, my friend? Like how it's changed.
Seriously.
In such a short period of time. So that goes to my point, though, that this cap's going to keep going up. So you can get away with the 40 million, and then at first, but the point is if I'm the Ravens, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, generally speaking, however, say like they give him a 5-year extension, how can I structure this to where max we're around 15%? And then you try to do all the numbers and say, here's what I can do, and this is how we can get you a headline that's like, you know, highest paid yearly or highest. He's not going to beat highest guarantees because unless he gets a 10-year deal, he's not going to beat Patrick Mahomes. So he's not going to be number one there. But could he be number one yearly? Sure. I just need the Ravens to work it out to where it's never above 15%, because what we really want for Lamar, along with the Ravens, is to win. And the Super Bowl winners have generally been quarterbacks on their rookie contracts, or
and Tom Brady.
Well, Hall of Famers, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, that kind of thing, and Joe Flacco. But he was on his rookie. He was on his rookie contract too, so he fits.
And Hall of Famer. No,
yeah. So it's tough. You want to do this. You want Lamar to get his money, but you want the Ravens to win, and you want Lamar to win. You want him to be able to build a roster. So as long as they don't exceed that 15%, they have a chance. But even those 15%ers, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
And just judging by Qadry's face, I think he's going to look at that 15% in the rearview mirror real quick, at least in that first couple years.
Yeah.
Until the cap goes up so high that it drops the percentage.
Don't get nervous because I'm here now.